Gentlemen, this is an update on the situation of the New Jersey University of Northern New Jersey, the famous fake university set up by ICE, by the federal government, not by ICE. Probably it was by the federal government, and they it was mostly like to trap agents and students who basically were saying that they were attending classes. So this is from the ICE website. If you look at it, 21 were charged, and they have the list of the names of the defendants here. And you have the charges are conspiracy to commit visa fraud, conspiracy to harbor aliens for profit, conspiracy to commit visa fraud for the second one, and same it seems like few people here were both conspiracy to commit visa fraud and harbor aliens, and conspiracy to harbor aliens. And here we have some people who got a little bit more charges. They have false statement, H-1B visa fraud, conspiracy to harbor aliens for profit, H-1B visa fraud, and false statement and conspiracy to harbor aliens. That part is a part which is tricky, because it seems like they have not gone only after those who are only those who have been selling, quote unquote, those immigration student visa petitions, but they have actually been going after people who have been technically harboring aliens on visa fraud, and those people have been charged here. They were directly basically involved according to ICE and that. And what ICE has done, ladies and gentlemen, is something which nobody really expected. They have set up a fake school first, and then what they did, they started contacting those brokers and start giving basically student visas when there were no actual classes at those schools according to ICE. And they set up that school, even had a website, it had a Facebook page. It was pretty much the whole 9 yard. And the truth is, they were giving I-20, and students, of course, took the bait pretty much, and through the agents. So at this point, they have not mentioned they are going after the students, but ultimately many of the students will be suffering. And there are two kinds of students that will be suffering: those who are still on their uh, with that school, but those who also file for their H-1B, they might be affected, because if you committed some kind of fraud, so any future benefits might be in jeopardy. So what happens now next is, if you're a student at that school, I'm going to give you a few tips. I gave those tips earlier, but one of the things that we always advise students to do is to remain silent. Of course, that's one of the things, but if you remain silent, they can keep questioning you. But you have a right to request for an attorney. And if it is a criminal charge, I repeat that, you have the right basically to be represented by an attorney, which is provided by the government, if you cannot afford an attorney. But if it is an immigration proceeding, you will have no right to a free attorney. You might be lucky if there's a pro bono attorney there who can help you if you are placed in deportation. At this point, they have not really mentioned about the students, what are the students' options. But based on our previous situations we had like that, especially during the Tri Valley, for those who know, I was helping a lot of students at that time with the Tri Valley situation. And one of the options that they didn't really give the options of transferring, because the service was terminated. In fact, this is pretty much a fake service. So they you cannot really do a transfer. So one of the things, of course, the first option is reinstatement, which I doubt will work at this point, because it's not a good idea. The second option, of course, is also to look into the fact, if you were a victim, you might be able to see if you are a witness or helping the government. You might be able to look into a U visa. But at this point, I don't know if you are basically a co-conspirator in the scheme. You might not get that. But the other options that we look at, of course, to leave the country, But if you are placed in removal proceedings, you need to get what we call a voluntary departure before you leave. So make sure that you request that, and at this point you will need an attorney to help you. And for those, we don't have a lot of more information what they will do to the students, because we are talking about 1,037 students affected, and also 6,000 other students which are being followed by the immigration. So the question is, are they going to go after students, or they are just going to limit themselves to those agents? The list of them is mentioned here. If you look at it, you have Jensen, Jiaming Wang, Philip Jonalin Lee, Zitong Wen, Chan Kit Yan, Ting Yu, Yongjun Lin, Zheng Zhang, Zhu Yongliu, Minglu Li, Jason Lee, Tajas Kodali, Jyoti Patel, Shahjadi Praveen, Sara Patel, Narendra Singh Pala, Sanjeev Sukhjia, Harpreet Sajdeva, Avinash Shankar, Kartik Nimala, Gabardhan Deva Aresti, Vardhan Sethi, Syed Kazim Abbas. So what happens now is you need to be ready. If you are anyway related to that school, either you are an employer or you are just a regular, just a student or an agent. Of course, the agents already mentioned that they probably will be facing, not probably, they are facing criminal charges, and that's why you have them as defendant here. And of course there is the disclaimer: the charges and allegations contained in those complaints are merely accusations, and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Of course, under the US Constitution, you are innocent until proven guilty, but the problem is that this was a sting operation. They probably have a lot of ammunition to fight those cases. So we are looking at, unfortunately, people who are going to end up in custody, in prison, and also there will be $250,000 of fine. And if you are an employer who has been involved with that school, I recommend that you talk to a criminal defense attorney as soon as possible. And if there are immigration issues, you need help, at least if you're a student, you need a consultation, feel free to call us at 510-742-5887. And at this point, the best advice I can give you again is to remain silent and to request for an attorney if you are being questioned. So make sure that you remember those words. Those are very important. Until I get new information, ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you for listening. And anything I'm telling you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. The number to our office, 510-742-5887. Thank you.